At our birthday dinner party, my husband raised a glass to new beginnings and joked that I should find someone who could actually handle real love. Everyone laughed except me. I placed a small envelope on the table. The moment he opened it, the color drained from his face. This is the sound that still makes my hands shake. Not the laughter. Not the music. Just that foolish, cheerful clink of glass, when he stood at the head of the table, exactly the way he always does when he wants to feel important. I'm telling you the truth, I knew something bad was coming even before he spoke. You know that feeling, like when your phone vibrates at 11:47 at night and your heart sinks, because nothing good ever comes at that hour. So we were all there. The birthday candles had already been blown out, the cake was half cut, the wine had been poured a little too generously because his sister said, we should celebrate properly. Our dining room looked exactly like those Pinterest pictures I never quite managed to recreate. Target napkins, Costco flowers, the table I had wiped down twice because earlier the kids had touched everything with peanut butter covered hands. Ordinary life. The same old mortgage, the electric bill due on Friday, all of it. He raised his glass and gave that same smile. The one he practices in front of the mirror. To new beginnings, he said. Everyone repeated it. Then he laughed, as if it were just a joke, as if I should laugh too, and said, and maybe it's time you find someone who can actually handle real love. Everyone laughed. His brother almost snorted wine out of his nose. His mother put a hand on his arm, as if he had said something clever instead of something cruel. I felt my face grow hot, but I didn't cry. Not then. I just stared at the table and thought, all right. So this is what we're doing here. I slid the envelope forward before I could stop myself. Small. Plain. No card. No ribbon. White paper against dark wood. This is for you, I said. My voice was calm, and that was what surprised me the most. He looked confused, then irritated. Like I had ruined some plan of his. And this is the part where I need you to understand something, because on the phone that night I kept saying, I didn't plan it like a movie. I didn't. I wasn't trying to be dramatic. I was just done pretending. That envelope wasn't revenge in the loud, screaming sense. It wasn't me flipping a table or throwing wine in his face. It was paperwork. Quiet, boring, undeniable paperwork. The kind that doesn't raise its voice but still wins. Inside was a copy of the email thread he didn't know I had forwarded to myself months ago, the one where he told his coworker that our marriage was basically over, and that he was just waiting for the right moment. Attached to that was the bank statement from the account he didn't realize I could see. The one he'd been using to pay for hotel rooms and dinners I never went to. And tucked neatly behind that was a signed consultation letter from a divorce attorney in the next county over. Dated 6 weeks back. He went very still as he flipped through the pages. No jokes. No smile. Just that tight look around his mouth I'd learned to recognize after years of watching him lose control in private and perform confidence in public. What is this? He asked, like he genuinely didn't know. It's the truth, I said. And I remember thinking how strange it was that the room didn't explode when I said it. The kids were in the other room watching a movie. His sister was still holding her wine glass midair. Life just paused. His mother cleared her throat and said my name in that warning tone she's used on me since the day we got married, like I was always one sentence away from embarrassing the family. I looked at her and realized something clicked loose inside me. I didn't need her approval anymore. I hadn't for a long time. I'd just been trained to think I did. He tried to laugh it off at first. Said we could talk later. Said this wasn't appropriate. Said I was being emotional. Funny, right? The same word he always used when he wanted to shut me down. But his hands were shaking now, not mine. I stood up, pushed my chair in quietly, and told everyone they didn't need to leave. The party could continue if they wanted. I just wasn't staying. In the car, I sat there for a minute before turning the key. I stared at the steering wheel and felt something heavy and sad settle in my chest. Not regret, exactly, but grief. For the version of my life I'd worked so hard to keep together. For the woman who used to think love meant enduring everything quietly. I didn't go far. Just to a grocery store parking lot, because it was the only place open and brightly lit, and I needed to feel real ground under me. I called you from there, remember? My voice didn't break until I said your name. What he didn't know, what he still doesn't fully understand, is that the envelope wasn't the end. It was the boundary. I wasn't trying to punish him. I was protecting myself and the kids and the life I was finally willing to admit I deserved. The divorce wasn't fast or clean. There were arguments about the house, about schedules, about money. He told people I blindsided him. That I changed overnight. Let him tell it. People believe what fits their comfort. What I lost was the illusion that if I stayed quiet long enough, things would get better. What I gained was harder to explain and harder to own, peace that came with responsibility, strength that didn't need an audience, and a future that felt uncertain but honest. Sometimes, late at night, I still hear that clink of glass in my head. But it doesn't make my hands shake anymore. It reminds me that I stood up without shouting, walked away without begging, and chose myself without asking permission. And that has to count for something, even if it cost me everything I thought I was holding on to.